Hello everybody and welcome back to Programminers. In the last video, I talked about how to add a stopwatch and a timer to your animation or a game. Today I'll be talking about if and if-else statements. These statements are really important in programming, and let's start coding that. We already have an event here saying when the green flag is clicked, and let's put a loop saying forever move 10 steps. Let's change the 10 steps to 3 steps so that we can actually look at the program being executed. And then let's say in the forever loop itself, let's put an if statement saying if touching edge then we can have it to say hello. So let's check that out now if it works. So it's moving 3 steps continuously, and once it touches the edge, it says hello. We also want it to stop everything once it touches the edge. So let's put a stop all block in the control section. And now let's drag it back here. And let's put a wait block in between the say hello and stop all. Then it executes properly. Let's say wait 0.5 seconds. And now let's execute that. So that's perfect. And this is about if statements. So let's jump into if-else statements. So let's get rid of this if block and let's get an if-else block into the code. For now, let's not join it to the original code, otherwise it's a bit confusing. For now, let's discard this piece of code also. Let's only stick with the if block and an event. Let's put an event. So now we go to operators and we drag an operator and let's say if 35 is greater than 50, then move 10 steps, else move negative 10 steps. So that's quite easy to understand, because when 35 is greater than 50, obviously it is not greater than 50, so it moves negative 10 steps. If the number was greater than 50, it will move 10 steps forward, otherwise it will move 10 steps backward. So let's check that out. It moved 10 steps backward because 35 is not greater than 50. Let's change 10 to 20 so that it's easy to look at, or let's say 40. And let's make this negative 40. Let's drag it into the center and now let's execute it again. There. So as 35 is not greater than 50, it moved negative 40 steps. And now if we put a value more than 50, saying 51, then when we click the green flag, it moves 40 steps forward, that is positive 40 steps. So that's about if-else blocks. So you can also, you can add not only operators, you can add different sensing blocks too. Like if touching color, we have the beach here, so we have the blue color, the sea. We'll change this to the blue sea color. There. So that's perfect. So if it is touching that color, then it moves 40 steps. Otherwise, it moves negative 40 steps. Let's execute that. It moved negative 40 steps because it didn't touch that color. Or maybe we haven't put an exact color defined here. So let's change that a bit. So I would recommend not to use if touching color because that's quite risky at sometimes because you wouldn't know the exact color of the backdrop. So let's discard that block and let's stick to something simple, saying if touching edge. So if it is touching the edge, it moves 40 steps, otherwise moves negative 40 steps. Here, it is not touching the edge, so it obviously moves negative 40 steps. There, it moves negative 40 steps. So I would recommend you to not use if touching edge also. Instead, you can use if touching mouse pointer because that's a lot easier to understand and to execute. So now once we execute this, it moved negative 40 steps. And now if we execute it, when I'm touching the mouse pointer to it, it still moves negative 40 steps. So why is that? That is because we haven't put a forever block to make it move 40 steps when it's touching the mouse pointer. So at places like this, the forever block is key here. So now once we click the green flag, it moves back minus 40 steps. And now you can see, once I get the mouse pointer closer to it, it starts wobbling back and forth because as you can see here, it's defined as move minus 40 steps and then move 40 steps. So it continuously gets, it continuously wobbles because it goes 40 steps front and then comes 40 steps back because of the forever block. So that's the if-else block. I would recommend using operators in if-else statements because that's a lot more easier to work with and to understand and execute well. So let's get into a little more complex program here with the operators. So we say let's say if 35 plus 25 is greater than 50, then move 40 steps. So this is basically the same one which we did. If 51 is greater than 50, then move 40 steps, otherwise move minus 40 steps, which we just learned a while ago. So this is a little bit different. So here we can put an operator inside the operator. So here we say if 35 plus 25 is greater than 50, then move 40 steps. So obviously 35 plus 25 is greater than 50, so it moves 40 steps forward. So let's remove the forever block here as it is not needed. And let's join that again to the event and let's execute this now. So it moves forward. Whereas if we make 35 to just 5, it moves backwards. There. So today we learned about if statements and if-else statements, which are really important in programming. And again, I recommend you not to use the color sensing block and the touching mouse pointer block, as they both do not work properly with if-else commands. But with an if command, they are fine to use. So I hope you understood and I hope you enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to like, share and hit the bell icon for notifications. And subscribe to my channel and leave your comments in the comment section below if you have any suggestions or any views. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching. Bye. See you later.